first thing that we need to talk about is, why do we need a life operating system in the first place? Well, the way I think of it, it's sort of like how computers have operating systems. Like back in the day when computers didn't have operating systems, it would be very difficult to get anything done with a computer without an operating system behind it. We all know how to use computers. We're all creating and using these apps that have been built on top of operating systems. The operating system does a lot of the heavy lifting as it relates to the computer trying to help you be more productive. And so butchering that analogy a little bit, that's kind of how I view a life operating system. It's sort of like a productivity system for your entire life. The system will do a lot of the heavy lifting as it relates to helping you figure out where you want to go and helping you take consistent action to actually get there. So everyone needs a life operating system, which is a systematic approach to managing your life and managing your time, in my opinion anyway. And ideally, the right life operating system, which we are hoping to build during the session, will help you manage the complexity in your life, because we're all trying to juggle various different things. We all have different projects and tasks and passions and goals and quests that we want to do. The right operating system helps you manage a lot of that complexity. Ideally, the right operating system will also help prevent overwhelm. In the process of all of us having all these zillion different things to juggle, and we saw from the survey that loads of you are struggling with taking on too much stuff, having the right operating system hopefully helps you reduce the amount of overwhelm you feel by taking on all of the stuff that we're all prone to take on. Ideally, the right sort of operating system would create balance. Productivity, in my view, is not just about work. It's not just about squeezing every last drop of efficiency. It's about having a balanced approach to making progress in the most important areas of our life, the stuff that is meaningful to us. Ideally, the right operating system helps facilitate growth as well. A lot of us are on this journey of personal growth. If you follow my stuff, if you've been watching my stuff for any length of time at all, you're probably into personal development. You'd probably like to improve your life in various different ways, whether that's internally or externally or a bit of both. And so ideally, the right life operating system would help you do that. And finally, the right operating system should hopefully help reduce mental load. When we operate computers, we don't have to think about a lot of the complexity that happens at the level of the operating system, unless you're like a computer programmer, like who's literally programming the operating system. Most of us don't need to worry about that sort of stuff. Similarly, when you have the right operating system running your life and helping you be more productive, it just takes a lot of the mental load off of your own brain because the system is doing the heavy lifting. Okay, cool. So, a couple of tips on how to approach this course. The main thing I would say is please do start small. We're going to be covering quite a lot of content in this session. Essentially, over the next 3 weeks, there's going to be 2 modules that we're going to be covering. So start small. Don't try and implement absolutely everything at once. We have run this cohort twice already before, and the feedback we always got from people who tried to do everything all at the same time was it was overwhelming. And so I'm going to reiterate this point, which we always say, which is that the point of a course like this is to give you the building blocks, and then you use those building blocks to build one step at a time. You will have lifetime access to the course materials and to the recordings, so you don't need to worry if you feel like you're falling behind or anything like that. So please don't worry about that. Start small and slowly build up. Second thing I would say is that a really important part of all of this productivity stuff is to approach it with an experimental mindset. I'm going to be suggesting a bunch of different experiments. These are all strategies that have worked for me within my own life operating system. And the idea is that I'm going to teach you how I've built my own life operating system and the general principles behind it and some of the strategies and tools. And all of these are just suggestions for you to try out for yourself. So some exercises and some components that work really nicely for me in my system might not work nicely for you in yours. And similarly, lots of, we've got people with varying different experience in productivity. Some of you have probably read getting things done and you've been implementing weekly reviews for the last 30 years of your life or whatever the thing might be. You probably have your own productivity system that you've been following, whether you know it or not. And so really the goal of this course is to give you some ideas, give you some components, and then you can choose how you want to implement those into your own system. And then the final thing is I would focus on taking action rather than trying to be perfect. When we've run this course live in the past, the people who get the most value from it are the ones who take action. The people who get the least value from it are the ones who try and learn everything before they take action. We also have a course on how to do YouTube that has like 150 plus lessons in it. And there are some people I've seen go through the course, all 150 lessons, before they make a single video. And then those people get so overwhelmed and put off that they don't even make a single video because you wouldn't just read the textbook on something before actually trying to implement it into your life. So what I would suggest is that this is a course for action takers, and you've got lifetime access to all the material, so you don't need to, it's not like a scarce resource. It's not like the material is running out. So that is what I would suggest as you approach this course.